Well, it's just going to have some presentation there. He's got that one. Jump down to that. It does.
It's all right.
Can you share your page?
Yes, of course.
We'll call tonight's meeting of Lloyd City Council to order. I'll bring to your attention, there's a revised agenda and Charlene Abel's resignation from the formal action. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Charlene Abel, Tony Gaylor,
Here.
Kent Miller,
Here.
Robert Peterson,
Here.
Bob Richard,
Here.
Matt Audie,
Here.
Rick Brown, Lloyd Luttrell.
Present. Thank you. If you'd stand with me for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us gather tonight to represent the citizens of our nice community. Be with us as we make the decisions and the fair decisions that will benefit our community as we go forward with tonight's business. Be with our law enforcement, our soldiers as they protect us here, abroad, and thank you for the abundant moisture that we have, and we'll put that back on the list for more. In your name we pray. Amen. I pray
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lloyd, do you have anything at this time? Okay, thank you. Yeah?
Yeah, I had a concerned citizen, Pam Hallrick, was telling me that she was having a lot of problems with underage drivers and speeders on Second Street, and she was wanting me to bring it up that we need to be going after underage drivers, because she was seeing people that she thought were like in eighth grade driving, and just wanted to remind parents that they shouldn't be letting their underage kids drive.
Okay.
That we're going down.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Bob, anything?
No, just thanks for the rain.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep thinking of that. I just wanted to bring up, I've had some complaints on dogs. It's the springtime, dogs are out going. There's been some people, and I've explained to them what our policy, that they have to file a complaint or get in touch with Chris or the law enforcement. We want to remind pet owners to be responsible and keep their dogs from chasing people who are walking and riding their bikes these nice days, evenings that we have. So, bring that to all the pet owners' attention. Katie, do you have anything at this time?
No, not right now, thank you.
Lynn?
Well, just a couple things. Just a reminder, on May 12th, we'll have our comprehensive plan hearing here at the municipal building, most likely downstairs. We'll be doing that. We're still working away on the K-14 project easements. Closer early today with some of the landowners on that project. That's, of course, a little slower going than we'd like. Police vehicles, the two new Fords that we have purchased are here. They have the one of them is actually on the street, so they came with a full police package. I think I included in your packet information about another thing the Kansas legislatures do that may impact us at the local level. They're thinking about putting a sales tax back on utilities, which of course would affect us. That's, I think, I believe that has not been the case since 1979, when it was suspended. But with the budget issues they've got, they're looking for every dime, so that is a serious possibility they could put that back on. So that would increase the, basically your utilities, according to that sales tax. So might want to look at that. Also, Arbor Day is coming up. That'll be 24th. The Technical College is having a celebration up there at 10 o'clock. And got word today, our auditors will be here from the 20th to the 22nd of May to do the audit. So we're working with staff. That's all.
Thanks, Vinnie. No public comment this evening. The next item is the consent agenda for the 4/7 council meeting minutes, the insurance renewal, appropriations for the fire department officer. Yes.
Is this insurance all-inclusive now, or are there some policies that are still outstanding that come at a different time of the year?
No, the only one that comes, as far as the property insurance and stuff like that, the only one that's separate is the airport.
Which
Airport. And the center policy, yeah.
Okay.
This year went slightly down because we did not have as many worker comp claims as in the past, so our training on that appears to pay off, or it could just be luck, who knows? But even though with the claims on the hail and whatever we had from last year, still our insurance is slightly declining overall.
Well, EMC has done a pretty good job of taking care of us through all this, way it looks like. Pretty fortunate. Any other questions or anything?
Can you, on several of these forms, it says this endorsement changes the policy, please read it carefully. And then the next page, it says the same thing, this endorsement changes the policy, please read it carefully. Can you sum up what some of these big changes were?
And I don't think there really are any. I mean, like I said, workers' comp is less, and everything else is just about the same. I'm not sure why I worded it that way. I don't know if that's just standard language.
Well, on the EMC thing that you have in our packet,
Yeah.
it says boldly, this endorsement changes the policy, please read it carefully. And that's what. So, I mean, is it just the premium rate that changed, or?
Yeah, because we're insuring this same. I mean, what we do is go through the vehicles and see if we're going to carry the full insurance on those every year. And some vehicles you have, some that you don't from last year or whatever, so we changed that. But otherwise, the coverage is the same as we've had for, I think, years on that. So it's really carefully. Yeah, I don't think there's really.
It says an error was made in the calculation of rates, premiums for the policy. This endorsement corrects the error. The correct rates and premiums will apply to all future transactions.
And that there's, what you're looking at, those 2 pages, about $5,000 altogether is credit.
Oh, it's credit.
Oh, credit back to us. Yeah, okay.
You know, if our workman's comp went down, I mean, the employees again need to be complimented on the fact that they didn't have, kept their workman's comp injuries and things like that in mind, because that insurance will take off pretty quick once you start having claims.
Yeah, we had very low claims this year. Very low.
So we gotta kind of thank them for their efforts of being safe. Any other question?
One on the accounts payable, on page 9 of 11. The court library, is that just a transfer through and it has to come to us before we can write a check to the library for them to pay?
It's been done in the past, but if you guys want to change, we can always change it.
I'm just wondering why it's that, why we're writing a check to the library for $100.
It's their own pass-through. is
Well,
it?
it'd be their property tax allocation, it has to come to the city.
Okay,
That's by law, it always comes to the city that way.
okay.
Not sure why it is. That's why.
What is it for?
It's their property tax. They have, and when you look at our budget, they actually fall under our budget and actually under our, technically under us, because they're not a separate library district. So when they levy a tax, it's in our official budget, so it comes to us, and then we pass it through to them, just like they were a department in the city. But they have their own separate board and all that, so they operate independently. But officially, they are passing the tax to the state through us to the library. So you'll see that, twice a year. See, it looks like we're paying them, which we are. But that's their mill levy actually. That goes to. Okay. All right.
I move that pass the consent agenda.
It's been moved by Councilman Miller that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Hottie. Is there any further discussion? Lloyd?
Do we need to do anything with Steve? Resignations separate from the officers of the fire department?
Steve,
On the same page.
I was instructed that we could accept all that in with accepting it's in with the fire department. isn't it?
Yes. Well,
That we
it's on
could
the same
accept
page.
that all inclusive, because it's in with
That's one vote instead of four.
the, yeah.
Well, it is an honor to have Steve as fire chief that many years.
Yeah, he's done such a great job. When we get closer to that, we need to recognize.
I need for a lot of work.
He's done a lot of work. Manny, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Gingler,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Latrell,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes,
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is appoint a council president. So open it up for a nomination for the council president for next year.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that Ken Miller be our next council president.
Been moved by Councilman Audie that we nominate Kent Miller as council president. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, been seconded by Councilman Gingler. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Aye.
Kent Miller will be our new council president. Then the ordinances, the next item on the agenda is resolutions, and that is the city officer appointments. And as you have in front of you, there was one change, an addition on the library board, where we have as city attorney Katie Schroeder, municipal court judge Arnold Wilson, health officer Dr. Chris Morosis, official newspaper Boyd Call, city engineer Stuart Porter, cemetery endowment board Jim Bell, Aaron Lampert, and Phil Roberts, library board Tammy Channel, Kelly Kimmer, and Mary Ann Kibbe, and the planning commission Nick Richmond. I place these in nomination. Been moved by Councilman Richard that we approve resolution 2015-13 city officer appointments. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Latrell. Man, is there any further discussion? Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Peterson,
yes,
Latrell,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is formal actions. And the first item under formal actions is Charlene Abel's resignation. Entertain a motion to accept Charlene's resignation.
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilman Richards to accept Charlene's Abel's resignation. Do I have a second?
so moved.
Second by Councilman Peterson. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the electric bid for downtown revitalization. In the amount of $7,921.06 from Schaefer Electric.
So we get, we're budgeted 18.5 for the grant, and this is all from the cost of 79.21. Is that right, Ronnie?
That's correct.
I don't have that with me, but that sounds pretty close to what I see.
I believe we accept the Schaefer bid for 7,921.06.
It's been moved by Councilman Richard that we accept the Schaefer Electric bid for $7,921.06. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Miller. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. The next item on the agenda was the trencher compactor purchase. I entertain a motion that we take this from the table. So those tables, been moved by Councilman Richard, we take the trencher compactor purchase from the table. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Peterson. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now, we will now discuss the trencher compactor purchase. Did we have some I apologize for my absence last meeting, but I'm assuming we had some discussion that we wanted to talk to staff about on this trencher bid?
Well, about a month ago, we bought a boring, so we didn't have to tear up the streets. Now we're wanting the packer back down when we tear up the streets. I don't understand, and I'm thoroughly opposed to it. We've got enough equipment sitting around to supply everything, so I don't think we need to.
Okay.
We paid $31,000 for a Boeing machine, and, in December. And, the way it looks to me like, when it was brought to us in December, they had to have that Boeing machine get under there to keep from tearing up the street. Okay, now, when he talked to me, he said they need that packer in case they have trees across the street. And of course, his say was that the flow cost more than it was high price. But if you remember right, I kind of put something to you at the last council meeting, how much time it would take, manpower and everything. And the flow would outdo the manpower by using that packer, because it takes a lot of time to do that with that packer.
My question is, when they're opening up the streets, they're going along with the streets instead of across them, like a lot of areas on the west side of town, they've gone through, put in new water lines and things like that. Is this where that would be used? Because, you know, they go multiple blocks at a time.
Well, yeah, but you take a water line, you don't have to dig that wide a ditch when you replace water.
Jim, you want to comment?
Yeah, if I could
You
clarify a
wanna come
couple
up
of things.
up here and join us up here?
Oh, okay. Well, looking between the packer and the bore, I mean, they both have two specific uses. Boring, if we can get by without tearing up the street, to cross the street or highway, I mean, that is always the best way to go. And when we agreed to purchase that, the present bore we had was 35 years old. We could not get parts for it anymore. It was breaking down. And so we had to, basically replace it to, continue to be efficient in what we do. Now, the packer serves, it can help, but it serves more of a different purpose of not so much going across streets, even though it would help with that on water lines. Its predominant purpose would be for sewer laying lines, which, besides the projects, we've got a lot of lines here in town that are definitely going to need replacing. And the only way in streets and alleys, that's where your sewers have to run, is to either global or packing. And global is just outlandish as far as price. Packing takes longer, But, basically, when you consider man hours as opposed to the cost of flowable, I mean, you still got a whole lot of difference there in cost. To give you an example, in Beloit, city block, from intersection to intersection is 360 feet.
Right.
Okay, on average, we vary anywhere from 5 to 22 feet deep on sewer lines. So just on average, 8-foot depth for one block with a 3.5-foot ditch, which is what you need for our forms, shoring, trench shoring to go in, it would take over $20,000 worth of flowable to fill that. And at $56 a yard, that's our current price.
I'm
And the
not
Packer-
saying you can't use one of those, but you can rent one. You
Yeah.
don't have to have it here.
You can
It
rent
doesn't
it.
set up there like 5 days it set up there and never moved it, that one packer.
That is, you know, we wish that wouldn't be the case, but Mother Nature kind of helped us on that one.
No,
But,
Mother Nature didn't have nothing to do with that,
well,
because we didn't have.
depending on what the
rain
crew was doing at the time, but there is one, I mean, we could continue to rent, but one problem that we have to consider on that is that there's only a few places that have those around to rent, and they only have like one on hand. And so we're at their timetable now instead of ours. If somebody else has that out, you know, we don't have it to use, so we either have to change our timetable or look at something else. It's not a piece of equipment that we can just go anywhere and pick up. They don't have 2 or 3 sitting around. They have usually one. They have one in Concordia, that's the one that we got rented now. They have one in Salina, and I don't know if they had one in Wichita anymore or not, because that was one we had brought up here. And so they're limited in where they're at, and if somebody else has got it for a month at a time, then our time frame for a project has completely changed.
I'm
It's
gonna
not hard to,
ask Ronnie something. Who's doing your board?
Ziegler's gonna do mine.
Is he available all the time?
I don't know.
He doesn't seem to take my calls, but.
Can he pour in what they're talking about?
Well, he's gonna fall on what he's talking about. I don't know. You'd have to talk to someone that's got more experience.
now on,
I think Pat is going to hire a guy out of Lincoln, to probably do this. I think.
Well, I know that, I don't know who was told me, found out later, that these companies can bore in sewer lines.
Yes, I've heard that they can.
And so, to me, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I talked to Larson a couple of years ago, and they say they do it all the time.
Well, that's my ploy.
They bore in sewer lines, Ronnie.
That's what this Larson guy said.
now, as far as I know on that, they could bore in a straight line, it'd be just like anything else, but they couldn't bore in a tap. And that's what we're looking at, is having to have it trenched out, dug out, so we can connect all the taps. If it was just a straight line, like a lift station pressure line, yeah, that could be bored in, because then they could just take it from one spot to the other and not have to worry about taps onto people's houses or businesses or whatever. But as far as in town here, all that has to be trenched out.
Well, in other words, we're gonna do the packing and leave that $31,424 machine set while we're packing.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come in handy. It just, like I said, our old machine was basically shot. And this gives us the option where if we have a new street like Hersey here, we can go under it. We don't have to cut it unless there's some real specific reason that we do have to cut it. And, I mean, we have the option, we have the equipment and we have the option that we can go the best way without disturbing as little as possible. I mean, with, you know, not disturbing.
Well, that's why we voted this in,
Yeah.
so you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, how far in advance do you know if you're gonna need a packer or
that will vary on, now, jobs that we have, projects that we have already in the planning, yeah, we have a little bit of time frame as far as a good idea about when we want to start it, you know.
I mean.
But as far as, can I give you a
2
month, 2
4
months? Maybe sometimes, sometimes not. Say, we get to well, we're almost completed with laying the sewer at the north campus. And then whether we're able to go to the, you know, which project we're able to go to, or whether we can start on a block. We don't really have that much lead time on, some projects you said, yeah, 2 months ahead of time, let's go ahead and book one. Others, okay, this is coming up, let's go ahead and knock this one out. We should be able to knock this out in about a month or two. Let's go ahead and do that. And then that's when we come up to, okay, do we have the machine available? And stuff, yeah.
Real simple question. What's the life expectancy of this trench compactor that you're wanting to purchase?
Well, as with anything, this machine is actually made shake, rattle, and roll. And its life expectancy is quite a bit better than I thought. There's 10, 15-year-old machines still out there. You
So
know,
you're
going.
expecting it to run for 15 years, or?
Well, oh, that'd be nice, but I can't really say I expect it. With a new machine, that was brought up. I did find out something that actually surprised me very much, the warranty on them. I was expecting a 6 month to year warranty. That's why I was opting more toward a used machine with low hours. A new machine has a 5-year parts and labor warranty. So just the warranty outside of your normal oil changes and stuff, you know, in that 5 year, for a $35,000 machine, it would basically pay for itself several times over in what we know that we have to do for sewer lines.
Jim, a couple things
Yeah.
that you stated. First of all, your boring machine's 15 years old, so you want to get rid of it. Now you're wanting to buy a 15-year-old Packer.
Well, no, it's 30, it was 35, it was early 80s.
Okay, but secondly, you said something, well, I'm sure it will be utilized, and I think we have an abundance of machinery sitting around this town that gets utilized 1 month out of the year. And we don't need it. If we can hire it done, why should we have all these thousands of dollars in machinery sitting
That's a fine line, Councilor Richards. Sometimes, I mean, having a machine on hand is beneficial, and other times, yes, it is cheaper to have it hired done. I mean, that's just a decision that, you know, you all need to,
Financing,
yes,
we have $47,410 in that line.
yeah.
What was that budgeted for?
That was budgeted for future equipment of unknown design. We didn't have any,
Well, according to our last retreat, we have equipment replacement, water and wastewater, a backhoe, a pickup, service truck, and a standby generator.
I did not submit that.
I know you did.
So.
Sorry
I
you
was
took
not-
over, but that's,
Yeah,
and you weren't the one that did the budget either, so.
Now, the pickup is scheduled for replacement next year, next year's budget, if we proceed with it. The standby generator, I don't know that it needs replaced yet. The backhoe,
Already has been.
yeah,
One of them,
the
at
water
least.
plant has been replaced, and I think we can get another 2-3 years out of the wastewater backhoe.
Service truck.
And the service truck, I don't believe that's that old. We
It says
should get-
23.
Huh?
It says 23 years.
Really? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just going by what somebody gave
Yeah,
us.
I'm sorry, I'm surprised that it was that old, but it's in real good shape, and I don't foresee that we need to replace it anytime soon.
Just concerned that maybe we're budgeting stuff that we don't need.
What's the going rate to rent this trencher compactor?
They can rent by the week. We usually rent by the month because, you know, as I mentioned, we don't wanna rent it for a week and have to take it back or, you know, whatever, and then, say it rained, and so we're laid off for a few days, and then go back and somebody else has got it out. So we rent it for about a month, and that runs, $2,270.
What does it rent for a month?
I don't have the exact figure, I think it's, upper 700s, like 780.
Well, I did just some simple math, and $15,000 over, I think you said 15 years would break down to $510 per year. Then we said it was used, so I just divided that in half, so that means we'd have to get $1,000 and 20 to get the value out of it.